you're an actor.
Yeah, it comes from repetition. People don't know behind the scenes. I probably had to take the clip 20 times. But I mean, it just comes from repetition. After a while of doing it, it's like, oh, I can flow and get my groove on.
You're right.
Use more of your personality. I think when you first start being on camera, you try to be pish posh and perfect, but people like your voice cracks a little bit, or you know, make a mistake, or little things that you think people really care about, but they really
it actually makes it better.
It does.
The thing you were trying to edit out is actually what people like.
Exactly.
Right.
Making it more authentic.
That's the word. We all have a personality that we need to come out. Have you ever had this, like when you're on camera and you watch yourself back, it's so cringy?
Yes.
Oh,
man, I went through like a month ago. I went through my Instagram, like all the older videos. I was just sitting there like pointing up to words, like I was like delete, archive. I mean,
right, yeah. Welcome to Tampa Bay Unlocked, the podcast where we dive into the dynamic world of real estate and business in the vibrant Tampa Bay area. Join us as we sit down with top agents and industry leaders who share their insights, strategies, and stories of success. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, our interviews will unlock the secrets to thriving in one of Florida's hottest markets. Get ready to be inspired and informed and motivated by our next speaker. I have Avion Stevenson. He's AKA Mr. Highrise.
Yes,
you branded yourself pretty well on the interwebs.
Yeah, yeah man. It was when I was going over with Shania. She was like, "What's your name want to be?" And so we was coming up with all these different names, and it was silly at first. And then I looked up Mr. Highrise and seen that nobody took it yet, and I was like, "All right, it's mine."
It's yours.
Yeah.
Now, have you focused? Has that been a thing for you? Well, how long have you been in the game? How long have you been in real estate?
February of this year is 2 years.
Okay.
So a little over 2 years now.
So still new.
Yeah.
Still new. How do you like it?
The first year, I mean, I didn't do terrible, but I had like only 5 transactions my first year, and I met this landlord who actually I rented out his entire unit. So that was paying the bills, keeping me afloat while I was looking for business and trying to get business.
Yeah, that first year's so tough, right? I mean, it's like you're learning a new skill, trying to build trust with people, build your book of business.
Sure.
You're drinking out of a fire hose.
Yeah, and learning contracts and how to nurture and call people and get new leads.
What were you doing before real estate?
Before real estate, I was doing ADT security sales.
Okay, so that's where the sales skills came in.
Yeah, a lot of door knocking, cold calling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long did you do that for?
I did that for about 8 months before I jumped into real estate.
Yeah, because a part of those ADT, the sales, they're calling agents.
Yeah, exactly.
So I always like to know where the seed, like in all of us on our journey, I like to know where we were and where the seed of thought began to where you said, okay, I'm going to go get my real estate license. Do you recall when that happened?
Yes, actually. So my friend, she's a realtor in Orlando. And I was, just telling her, I was like, I'm not really feeling the security thing. And she's like, hey, you should get into real estate. I really didn't know much about it. But I was like, okay, she's in real estate. Okay, then I'll get into real estate. So
that's how it happens, right?
Yeah, so I actually did training with KW.
Okay.
Did the courses and took the test, passed the first time, and jumped into it not really knowing what to expect. So I didn't know you might not get paid for 30, 45, 60 days. So I was just like, trying to wing it, but I ended up getting my first listing. I started in February. I got my first listing in May.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
What do you attribute that to? Where did that first listing come from?
Actually, so I joined Coldwell Banker, and they used to have something called floor time, and I got it just answering.
So it was
calls.
just right place, right time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of brokerages have the floor time. I think the floor time is a great foundational thing for new agents.
For sure.
Because some of those people calling in, they can be difficult to work with sometimes.
Oh yeah. I think being in the office, being around top producers and stuff, and just answering phone calls, learning how to talk to people, making phone calls and stuff like that is beneficial for sure.
Yeah. What do they call that though? Your real estate language. There's another acronym. I can't remember, but that's what I tell people. You need to learn how to talk.
Yeah.
And that's where that confidence comes in.
For sure, man.
But you've been making YouTube videos. You're looking real good on the camera, dude.
Thank you, man. I'm trying.
Yeah. Where's that confidence come from? Because not everyone can do the on-camera thing. This is different here on a podcast, but when you're looking at a camera and you're an actor.
Yeah. So it comes from repetition.
Yeah.
Like, people don't know behind the scenes. I probably had to take the clip 20 times. But I mean, it just comes from repetition. After a while of doing it, it's like, oh, I can flow and, get my groove on.
Right.
Use more of your personality. I think when you first start being on camera, you try to be pish posh and perfect, but people like your voice cracks a little bit, or you know, make a mistake, or you know, little things that you think people really care about, but they really
it actually makes it better.
It does.
The thing you were trying to edit out is actually what people like.
Exactly.
Right.
Making it more authentic.
That's the word. Yeah, no, it is. We all have a personality that we need to let come out.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know, have you ever had this, like when you're on camera and you watch yourself back, it's so cringy?
Yes.
Oh,
man, I went through like a month ago. I went through my Instagram, like all the older videos. I was just sitting there like pointing up to words, like I was like delete, archive. I mean,
right, yeah. Well, I just heard this thing when we hear ourselves, if we're not. This was like a crazy thing. I wish I could remember the guy's name, but he said even in our voice, when you hear your voice on camera, it sounds different.
Yes.
And I was like, why is that? Okay, so this makes sense. This is a cool, crazy thing. So our voice, when we hear it, is traveling through our bones to our ear. So it's going through more dense. You think about that wave sound, right? But when you're hearing it, it's going through the air.
Yeah.
So I sound deeper, more baritone to myself than I do to you in this microphone.
Right.
And
yeah, because sometimes I'm listening to a clip, I'm like, why do I sound so nasally?
Yeah, you immediately pick yourself apart.
Yeah, for sure.
But the more you watch, and you like it, like bridges that gap of like, oh, that's just me.
Exactly.
You just gotta
That's
take
just
it.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any other advice? I mean, because I look at agents who not all have the natural ability, and whether it's natural or not, maybe 20, 30 takes in, right? What advice would you give to agents as they're trying to get on camera?
I would say start by, sometimes like you're riding around or walking, sometimes random thoughts come to your head. Pull your camera out and talk to it like you're talking to a friend or something. And I had to start doing that too. I'm like, oh, I don't want to forget this. Is this?
So you don't just do a voice note or take the note, you record yourself.
Record yourself, or you can do like a voice recording too.
Yeah.
That works.
So then you get used to hearing yourself.
Exactly.
I think there's something special, you know, we talk about role playing in real estate and having conversations, practicing having conversations. I think it's important to hear yourself back so you can find your silly filler words or, I don't know, just weird things that you do, right? To correct yourself, to be more polished.
Have you ever heard of the new AI they have with the phone calls?
That's sounding like people?
Yeah, so they'll respond to you and you know, you're talking and...
I love that you bring that up. Do you use AI?
Yes, I do.
How often?
Like all the time.
Like, what's that mean? Once a month?
Like every day.
Every day, yeah.
Some way, the chat GBT, if it's doing those mock phone calls.
You have an AI call in, make phone calls for you?
Yeah. Oh. Well, I haven't got that far yet. Okay. It's more just like practicing.
Okay. Oh, you're using it as a like it's
like
talking
a practice tool. Yeah.
Oh God, you're not even using a person.
Yeah, exactly. So if I want to practice and then hear yourself back, and then it'll grade you like, hey, you should ask this instead of this, or you should do this instead of that.
What's that called?
Can't remember the name of it.
Okay, well,
but I'll get it for you.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
I'm leaning into it heavy.
And it'll tell if you did terrible.
Oh, well, that's good. You need to be able to take the feedback.
Yeah, for sure.
I just I have a leadership coach, and we were just having this conversation when you need to get bad news to somebody or like a critique. You know, you say, "Can I coach you for something?" And this might be a little bit of a punch in the throat. You know, to prepare someone.
Yeah.
But that's how we get better, right?
Yeah.
And grow.
Absolutely.
Did you have a mentor starting out, or do you now?
I would say I do now. I would say I have good team members now, more than a mentor. I think in the beginning that really would have helped me if I had someone I can go to and talk about things, and someone who's been in those shoes, because we see top producers now, but they all started somewhere.
Yeah, we're all on our journey, and the journey started at zero.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you have to remember that. So what's been the most exciting thing for you, like in this transition? So you were doing ADT sales for 8 months. Now you've been 2 years into this. So obviously this is going better.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like I exceeded what was expected of a first-time agent. Like I didn't only do 1-2 deals. I did 5 my first year and kind of kept that momentum going. Got better at social media postings, and now I'm a lot better with making phone calls, with following up. You know, in the beginning, following up was non-existent. So now I feel like I'm just overall a better agent. So things are just starting to You know.
They say it's year 2 and 3. Like by year 3 is when the stride really catches.
Oh yeah.
You can imagine where you're going to be in another year.
Yeah. Now me going to my 3rd year, like from January to now, I think I have 6 closings or 6 homes that closed already.
Right. You're like,
So,
look, that's more than you did your whole first year.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Then you're like, well, eventually you'll be doing 6 closing in a month.
I hope so, man.
No hope, dude. We believe.
Yeah.
We
right.
believe.
Yeah.
You know, it has to happen.
For sure, man.
What's your mindset around growth?
You have to go through some pain to get growth. So you know, it's like my first year, like I said, first year, even part of going towards the 2nd year, it was huge financial stress on me. Credit cards maxed out, had to ask my parents for money and stuff. But it's just, I knew I could do it. So I didn't give up. Just go through it, and it was going to work out.
So it sounds like there was a lot of belief in yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about that. Like, where does that come from? Because not everyone has that. That's a gift.
Oh, yeah. My mom and dad, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. You know, my mom and dad both don't let me quit. Like, if you're going to get into something, you need to go ahead and do it. Give it 100%. You already put so much into it. You know, you can't just quit. And I've had times where I was like, oh, maybe I should just go back to school, or maybe I should just get a part-time job. I'm like, no, it's things I'm just not doing that I can do or do better. So
Always room to do better.
yeah.
Yeah, that right there is a really special gift. That belief in yourself.
Oh, yeah.
You have to. I've been meditating on that a lot lately.
And I also have a strong support system. I have really good friends. So
Yeah, tell me about that, because I've been really focusing on we're the average of the 5 people we surround ourselves with.
yeah. So I have a friend, the realtor friend. She's also in law school. Have another friend who's in law school. Have a friend he's an artist. You know, and he's in the entrepreneurial world. So we all like get in a group chat together and just like push each other, motivate each other. Somebody feeling down, like, hey, you know, do this or do that, and kind of just, you know.
I don't think we've talked about support systems enough. I mean, a little bit. All agents have always said that they've had, whether it's a spouse, a parent, or a friend, a mentor, or whatever. But man, it's so important, because this journey
Yes.
it can be bumpy.
Yes. Oh yeah. Say the least.
right. Bumpy. As you're trying to focus on your goals, you have distractions coming in everywhere. The self-doubt, all the negativity, people telling you no.
Yeah.
And you need to have someone to pull you up out of that.
I used to be afraid of the word no.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, okay, no, on to the next one. Yeah.
It could be no, or just not yet.
Or not yet. Yeah.
Right.
And not yet is even better.
Right. I like not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. That means there's a future possibility.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what do you what like that shift? Okay. So what skills? Here's the question. What skills did you learn at ADT that is translated into real estate, or if any?
I would say probably getting out of my nerves to make phone calls. Now I'm more making warm calls compared to cold calls. So it's like, this is a lot different. Then I was doing door knocking. I don't do too much door knocking now, but that's not a real fear I have either. So I would say, you know, those basic sales skills. You know,
Get a little thick skin.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm sure you heard no a lot
Yeah.
at ADT.
I heard no, stop effing calling me.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
all types of things.
Even isn't it the best when you're door knocking and you know that they're in the home and they don't answer?
Oh yeah, hear the music blaring.
You hear the music, you see them peek out the window.
Yeah.
Like, I saw you. I saw you see me.
Knock a few more times.
Yeah, that is tough. You know, I just had a conversation this morning with one of our agents. I told you as you were coming in, they asked me to go on a walk and talk meeting, which phenomenal. We should do more of those.
Yeah.
And really getting out of the transactional mindset into a relationship mindset.
Yes.
How do you manage that? Because some agents are transactional.
Right. Now, with that, I think I've always had good people skills. I usually get along with people. Not everyone, but most people. So I think that aspect of it, I've always had. I feel like I can deal with a lot of different personalities, should I say.
Yeah, that's a real, that's a EQ. You know, we talk about the difference between IQ and EQ. And I think in this business, it's more important to have a higher emotional intelligence than intellect.
Yeah.
Right? People skills.
Definitely. Because there's so many different stories behind each transaction. You know.
Do you have any wild ones?
Wild ones. Well, right now, dealing with a divorcee. I've dealt with a family who, recent closing, dealt with a family whose son They lived in a different school zone, but the better school was in another school zone, and the money was tight. So we had to negotiate to make that work, and deal with those emotions and the stress of her wanting her child to go to a better school. So it's, you have a lot of different stories like that. And, it makes it worth it.
The emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it's definitely more than just selling a house. I think people just think realtors are just transaction, but you are a therapist sometimes too. Somebody who's there to like explain things. So
yeah, I mean, this is where someone's going to lay their head every night.
Exactly.
You're right, for the most part.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
It's big. Start a family, continue a family. Yeah, all the things. I had another really good thought that came out of that, and I lost it already. Man, where did it go? It'll come back.
It's just floating.
It's out there. Like, come back. Yeah, no, the relationship's so important. So important.
Do you have any stories?
Oh, man. Crazy stories. I'll tell you the time I crawled underneath my desk and wanted to quit.
Really?
Yeah, literally crawled underneath my desk,
Wow.
laid down. I was like, what is going on? And because I felt the pressure so much. So you never know where business is going to come from first.
Yeah.
So this is the first part of the story. I lived in Philadelphia in a 17-story apartment building. And at one of the Christmas parties for the building, I met this guy, Anthony, in Philadelphia. I moved to Florida through social media. We stay contacted. He always said, I'm going to move to Florida. I'm going to move to Florida. In that time, this is like a 2-year time span. He gets married, has a child. Boom. They come down here, find him a new house in Lakewood Ranch. My buddy, another agent friend of mine who actually got me into the business a little bit and got me at Keller Williams, is selling their place in Philadelphia. They have to come down here. Long story short, the day they drove a U-Haul all the way down here with the dog, all their belongings unpacked. The house is packed up. The day before they're supposed to close on their new construction here, the deal in Philadelphia, which they needed to close, fell through.
Oh my God!
And they're here with all their stuff, all their belongings. They have no place to go, and the stress. But I'll give it to that couple. They really held it together. But I put them up in an Airbnb and a hotel while we were trying to figure out and buy time. Luckily, through the grace of God, we found a pot of money that allowed them to carry both mortgages for for a month until they got their other place sold so they could close on their new construction and have a place to sleep.
Yeah.
Literally, they had no place to sleep.
Wow.
What was I going to do? And that's where I just felt, I'm like, I have to tell them to get back in that U-Haul and drive it back to Pennsylvania and unload it back into their old home.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I mean, the weight of that.
No, that's a crazy story.
That put me under my desk.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
That was one of those moments of like, holy cow, man, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
But that we help people.
Yeah.
We get them through to the other side. We came up with a solution. We got it done. But I had a moment.
Yeah.
I had a moment.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like as you stay in this career, everyone ends up with a moment.
Yeah. Maybe more than one.
Right. For sure, man. Wow. Yeah, I forgot about that. I appreciate you asking that question.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of those ones that, like, you bring it together and you're like, oh, then you're so grateful.
Yeah.
And they really appreciate you and everything you did, and that's just good collaboration.
Oh, yeah. Good for your reputation, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you believe in competition in this business?
Yeah.
How so?
Like, I see people like you or other, top producers. Now, I've been doing this since I got in. I followed all the people who were selling.
Yeah.
And in my head, I compete with y'all.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. To drive yourself.
To drive myself.
And at the highest level, I know I'm collaborating with you.
Right.
Because if we come from a place of abundance, there's enough business for me, enough business for you.
Absolutely.
Right?
I believe that.
But at the same time, I'm like, you're going down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. In my head, I'm like, yeah, I could do it. Yeah.
You know who I learned that from? And I think it says it articulates it well. Gary Vaynerchuk. You watch him?
No. I don't think I've heard
Gary
of him.
V?
Gary V. Never
You
heard
don't
of him.
know marketing. VaynerMedia. Look at this guy up and follow him. I've been following him since like 2015, 10 years. And he built a really big marketing agency in New York City. But he always says, you can build an empire with honey.
Wow.
Right? You don't need to build it with vinegar. You don't have to tear people down.
Yeah.
If you have to tear someone else's building down to build a bigger building,
No, I like that.
right? No, just build a bigger building.
Yeah.
And so I come from this place of like, I'm using everyone else's successes as driving fuel and like competing in that nature. But in the same time, I'm wishing you the best.
Yeah.
I want you to succeed too.
Yeah, I'm not trying to take food off your table.
No. I want you to actually get more so that way I have to go get more.
Exactly.
Because if you build a bigger building, that means I got to go build mine bigger.
That's the way to be, man.
Right?
It really is.
It's way better. It just feels better.
Yeah.
It just feels better. I don't want to take from anyone. So I think that energy of collaboration is higher energy to put out than competition.
Oh, yeah. And it's been times, too, like, if I'm away and I can't help a client, I can just refer them out to somebody who can help them at that time.
Right.
Like, to me, it's not like, oh, I'm losing that. I don't see it as that. It's like that I'm giving one away, and maybe one day I'll get one back.
No, it will come back.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. You got to have good karma.
Oh,
good
yeah.
karma.
Oh, yeah. I believe that heavy.
Yeah, right? It comes around.
Yeah.
You really need it. You really, really need it. And I do see there's a stigma in this business of agents that are just nasty.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh, it's gross.
I've been trying to figure that out since I got into the business.
It's gross, right? You know what? I'm kind of happy, though, because then I'm like, thank you for doing that. You just make me look that much better.
Yeah. I think some people get too caught up in this trying to be the best agent, if you know what I mean. Like, trying to overdo it. And it can come off as being rude a lot of times.
It's ego, right?
Yeah.
The ego gets inflated. You do something good or big,
Yeah.
and now you think you're better
Yeah.
instead of equal.
Right.
Right? Yeah, it does get into a little bit of philosophical thing. That's the coolest thing I think about our business. And like in this pursuit of being better in real estate, you have to become a better person.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
And have you felt that?
Oh, yeah. I think I am a better person today because of real estate. Like, in the beginning, of course, as a newbie, you're trying to find the big check. But as you go through transaction after transaction, dealing with family after family, it becomes more of, like you said before, a relationship. You're trying to build a relationship with this family, trying to, do the best you can to make sure their situation is good. It's not just about the transaction. It's about, does this fit their financial needs? Does this fit their family needs? And I think I'm more of a more conscious person of that. Yeah.
That's powerful. It is.
Yeah.
To be conscious. How many people are walking around unconscious?
Right. Yeah.
Right? There's zombies out here.
Autopilot.
Yeah. For real, the awareness, you have to bring it. I hope we can get in. That's just being present. You have to be present. To be,
Yeah.
I feel like to be really good in this business, you have to be extremely present.
Yeah.
Right? Because to be present means it makes you a good listener.
Absolutely.
That's one thing I really focus on. And it's tough sometimes because we have things we want to say, but biting our tongue and listening for an extra second can make all the difference.
Oh, yeah.
What's been the biggest challenge you faced since getting into business?
The biggest challenge, well, in the beginning, of course, is always lead generation is the biggest challenge. And then now is more of a showing up to events and things like that. Trying to be there for people because at the end of the day, you want people to be there for you too. So, but I do struggle sometimes after a long day. I'm getting invited to this event. I'm like, maybe I'll just lay down. Maybe I'll just,
Yeah.
But sometimes you really do need to show up for people.
Yes, that is the thing. I feel like there's something to do every evening.
Oh, yeah.
Every evening.
It seems like it.
Right? And it's like, man. And you got to be selective on what you do. But it is important to show up because those connections, because it's not just the people we serve, it's the vendor relationships that we build that helps us get deals done.
Exactly.
Right? And when I say deals done, it's not from a transactional way, but it's from a helping way of having the resources to keep things together.
Exactly.
To help more people.
Yeah. You want to be the agent, the, what they call it, end all, be all, end all. So somebody comes to you and be like, hey, I'm looking for a mover. I have a guy. I'm looking for a painter. I have a guy. I'm looking for an inspector. I have a guy. Like, just be the guy who knows everybody.
Yep. Yeah, the connector.
Exactly.
The connector. Yeah, we got to put a lot of energy into that. As an agent, that's what I feel like just helps you be a better person because you're going to attract those people.
Right.
Yeah. You don't want to be slimy. The last thing I want is for someone to see me at my phone call come up and not answer.
Right. I know, right?
Yeah, right? You need to be excited when that phone rings. Yeah, on both ends. Yeah. So we got to show that energy. We got to bring that out. What's next for you? Where do you see this career going?
Man, well, this year, this is my second year, so I can finally think about purchasing a home myself. With me, just me, so starting with a townhome for me.
Yeah.
Eventually graduating, probably rent that out.
Yep.
Get into the investing side of the real estate business. But right now, other than that, just building up my transactions and.
What's the business look like for you 5 years from now?
5 years from now, what does it look like for Mr. Highrise?
Mr. Highrise.
I'll be selling one of those high rises. How about that?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
getting
it'll be
into the luxury space.
Yeah. That's a goal of yours?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think you'll be there sooner than that.
Yeah.
Right? Just start walking the talk.
Yeah.
You tour the buildings?
Oh yeah.
Which one's your favorite?
Reflection.
Why? What do you like about Reflections?
Reflection. It's not going to be any buildings in front of it. You're going to always have that beautiful view. You're going to see the Gulf. You're also going to see Mirror Lake. It's the quieter side of downtown St. Pete. So I think that's probably why I like it. Just more chill. And then you get into the heart when you go towards Residence 400 and Art House. And
yeah, you're still there, but you're not there.
exactly. Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah, you take a golf cart, drive it over there.
Yeah, what a unique feature they added, huh?
Yeah. I like that.
For those that are listening that don't know, there's a golf cart amenity at Reflection condo building near Mirror Lake that will drive you. Where will it go?
Doesn't it drive you to downtown?
It would down to Beach Drive if you need to.
Oh, it's a Beach Drive. Okay.
Yeah, I think anywhere throughout downtown, that you can get a golf cart to.
That's a pretty far distance.
Yeah. I mean, so you don't have to no drunk driving.
Exactly.
Right. And you don't have to make that stumbly walk home. You can just call the golf cart.
And Mirror Lake too is very walkable.
Oh,
so you want to get a little workout in.
Yeah.
Just walk around a few times.
How long have you lived in Florida?
Well, I've born and raised in Florida.
Oh, right. Yeah. Melbourne. Okay, but Tampa.
Tampa, I've been here. 6 years now?
Okay. What brought you here?
So I went to USF.
Okay.
Graduated with my degree in environmental science and policy.
How's that serving you now?
When people want to ask about the environment, they can.
Right. Yeah.
But that.
What did you think you were going to do with that?
So I thought I was going to be like this deep sea diver, research
sweet.
guy.
Oh.
Then I ended up working for the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. And that just didn't work out, not to make it about money, but it just wasn't.
You saw it, right?
Yeah.
No, it does matter.
Yeah, and especially living in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
You got to have the money.
So have you been diving before?
No. But I did research before. I did ocean research before.
Okay, got it. Yeah, diving's cool.
I felt like that was like the next step.
Yeah. A deep research. Yeah, no, we do that now in properties just on the surface, right?
Right.
We do our deep research.
Just not in water.
With AI, I use that deep research feature on chat. You use that?
You said on chat?
Chat on ChatGPT. There's a deep research mode. Okay.
So you're teaching me right now.
I'm teaching you
and
right
I love ChatGPT.
Oh, yeah. Listen to this. I'm going to tell you how I just got a $5 million listing.
Oh, my God.
Using deep research. Your ears just perked up, didn't it? Everyone listening just perked up. Okay. So it's whatever that, let's just paint a scenario. Whatever that building is, you give chat all whatever the brain dump is, scenario that's going on with your seller, the information that you can, and say, now write me a prompt for deep research mode. Because you want to, the better you prompt the AI, the better answer we get, right? And so when you turn on deep research, it goes and scours more than just one resource. It will pull from 30 to 50 resources, and it takes like 7 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So it's not, you can imagine, the AI is already giving you a fast, now imagine if it took 7 minutes to think about an answer. So it's fact checking itself against different resources and doing all this. And then it writes you like an essay.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
And so I had to do all this research for me, wrote a nice essay, and I had so many bullet points from that essay that I used in my conversation at the meeting with the seller that...
Got you the listing.
Yep.
Heck yeah, man. Congratulations.
AI, man.
That's awesome.
I did hours of work in 45 minutes. Well, 7 minutes, but until I read and interpreted and, and made
your own words. And,
of course. But, it's a powerful tool.
Yeah, I don't even know about the deep research. You're teaching me something right now. Dropping gems.
Oh, I got them, man. I got them. I'm deep down the rabbit hole. But no, if you're not using the deep research mode, I think if you have the $20 a month plan at this time of 2025, what is this month? March. You can only do so many deep researches a month. Because you can imagine how much computing power that takes.
Oh my God, yeah.
Right, for what it's doing. But it's cool because you can open up this separate browser and you can see everything that's doing. It'll be like, check in this website. Now cross-checking it with this website and thinking about da-da-da-da-da. And you can, so you're watching it think. And then comes out this essay.
Yeah.
Because I used AI to write the prompt to give me the answers.
Yeah. Wow, man.
We have
use AI, folks.
Yeah. That is the message.
I know some people are scared of them. I'm like, it's the
Why do you
future.
think that is? Yeah, I want to talk about that.
I think if you're talking about the older generation, you know, most of
I know young people that are scared.
Yeah. But
I'm scared of it.
But I feel like it comes from that. I feel like, you know, back in the day when people talked about artificial intelligence, it's always scary movies and how they're going to take our jobs and our lives. So I think that's what do you call it? Subconscious fear it got passed on kind of.
So you think the media did that?
Oh yeah. Media, movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be real.
Could be.
Could come out that way.
Maybe we're gonna.
I think there's a universe where that does happen.
Possibly.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe we're shooting ourselves in the foot right now.
Or is it inevitable? I think it's inevitable. Look at life. We were once a single cell organism.
Yeah.
Right? Life just wants to continuously evolve.
Fish was crawling out to sea.
Right. Yeah, army crawling out to sea. And now we're selling high-rises.
Right.
I get grateful to sit here with Mr. Highrise.
Yeah, man.
So,
well, quick question.
Yeah,
what
go
does
ahead.
Ryan do for fun in downtown St. Pete?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I love downtown St. Pete.
Me too.
It's my backyard.
Yeah.
Work, live, eat, play. What do I love to do? You know what I love to do? I love to go sit at Bavaro's on a Friday night and have a glass of wine. I get I get some meatballs as an appetizer. And I get the penne al vodka with chicken.
Yeah.
I got the menu down.
Oh,
man. I do this the whole time. And I like to just sit there with friends and catch up.
Yeah.
But I love to people watch.
Yeah.
And I love to sit on the sidewalk. I really don't love to sit inside. I like to sit outside on the sidewalk and just sit there. And you can sit there for hours, you know, have a glass of wine, get a little whatever, you know. And so that's fun. And then just wandering around. I like to, you know, you can walk down the beach drive. It's just, for me, I always run into people I know.
Yeah.
So it's like this, it's like, you know, turning the handle on the Jack in the Box. You never know what's going to come out.
Exactly.
Right? You never know who you're going to bump into, what this experience is going to be. So it's just it's my way of staying connected to the city. And then I also, in the mornings, I love going for a sunrise run.
Oh.
There's something,
peaceful.
The city's quiet. You get out to the pier, you go all the way out to the end of the pier, you're watching the sun come up, the water's calm, you might see some dolphins, other people are out there running, you know, and then I turn around. This is my favorite part. It's getting to and turning around on the pier and then looking at the skyline.
Oh, yeah.
And just like
Nothing
taking a
like
moment,
it.
and the boats are there, the way the hue of the sun's coming up, and just really taking a big moment of gratitude in that, and just breathing in that.
Appreciative.
Yep. There's something about breathing in the water, the fresh air coming off the water.
Oh yeah.
And then running back, man, and just pushing myself. That's So
that's beautiful, man.
Yeah, that's how that's my way of staying connected. And doing the podcasting and everything, just feeling the heartbeat of the city.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Downtown St. Pete.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite place is probably a little less luxurious than yours, but I go to Lemongrass.
Lemongrass is great.
Oh yeah, it's top notch for me.
Yeah, he's top notch.
That's the epitome of St. Pete.
Yeah, top tier.
Then if I wanted to go to Beach Drive, my favorite ice cream place, Kilwin's.
Yeah, it's good.
Man, I love them.
Yeah.
Then I'll just take a walk to Vinoy Park and just, you know, every day, like, I say a prayer, just like, thank you, God. Like, I'm appreciative, even for the bad times. Like, I'm very just appreciative of life, especially more than ever nowadays.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. Why do you say more than ever now?
Well, the past few years, I lost some family members and friends, and some of them were young. So I'm like,
my condolences, man.
Yeah, I'm like, thank you, God. I'm still here. I'm doing well. Like, it could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
So I'm just appreciative.
It's amazing, like when the cycle of life and those reminders. You know, for me, I don't know. We always talk like in real estate. Have you heard of finding your big why?
Yes. Yep.
And if we ask that question 7 times, we'll get to the depth of it. And we just did this exercise here. We were teaching the 6 personal perspectives and finding your big why. And I feel like when you teach that class, someone in the class should be crying.
Yeah.
Right? Or you're not getting deep enough. And for me and Kathy Stan, who's been in the business 30 years, we were going back and forth. And both of our answers were the same and different, but the underlying thing of what we really wanted was love.
Yes.
Right? All we're doing is spreading love.
That's big.
That's everything. What's life without love?
That's everything.
Nothing. Why are you helping people?
Because you love to do it.
Love to do it. You want them to love. You want them to spread more love, more cheer, more joy. So I think that's at the center of all of us.
Oh, yeah.
We just forget it.
That reminds me of a show. Do you remember the show called Angel?
What was this on?
I can't even tell what it was about, but I just, but I happened to follow on the show.
Yeah.
And it was an episode about how one negative experience or one positive experience can change the experience for a lot of people in that day.
Oh,
so let's say you go into a room, you're not feeling the best, and so you give somebody an attitude. That person give an attitude to somebody else, and it's so on.
Oh, the ripple effect.
Yes. So I'm like, if I'm gonna give a ripple effect, I don't want it to be negative.
I'm just visualizing that, and then you think of how the negative will trump the positive so quickly.
Easy.
That energy just pierces through it.
It will suck out the entire room.
Yeah, and then you got to come out so much more positive. So I think that's a great reminder. And when dealing with people in our business, you got to remember you never know what people are dealing with.
Yeah.
Underneath the surface.
Just be kind.
Just be kind. It's easier.
Yeah.
And it's that reminder. You just don't know. You just don't know. And if they're coming off at you, have you ever read the 4 Agreements?
I haven't.
It's a foundational book. I got asked last night. We're at a Keller Williams Young Professionals event. We're on the rooftop at the True Hotel. After the event, we were talking about AI.
Yeah.
We learned about that, and then we're just doing a little networking after. And this guy Roy, 19 years old, new in the business, asked me, "What book should I read?" And I said, "Well, what are you going through right now in your life?" I got a lot of books. It just depends. But what we came down to, I said, a foundational book you need to read is the 4 Agreements. And the 4 Agreements are: be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Why am I brain for it? Don't make assumptions. Thank you. And always do your best.
Yeah.
Okay. And you think about that. I'm not going to assume that you're having the best day. Right? I'm always going to do my best. I'm going to be impeccable with my word to myself and to you. That's the self-talk. Right?
Yeah.
How nasty are we to ourselves?
Oh, it can be terrible.
Terrible.
Just picking apart.
I just heard another thing. We got to treat ourselves like we're our own best friend.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to tell your best friend the hard stuff.
Yeah. You need to get church together.
Yeah, get your ass up, you lazy piece.
Yeah.
No, calm down. You're doing good. You're doing good.
Self, you're crazy.
Right. Yeah. It's witness that, to be present, pause, reframe. Not let the negativity in you, to our point, right?
Yes.
Let that ripple spread. But if we're always we're being impeccable with our word to ourselves, and that energy comes out to other people,
Yes.
right? We're not making assumptions about their days going. Here's a big thing: not taking anything personal.
Yes.
If you flick me off in traffic, and I'm like, I don't even know what happened.
Yeah.
Who's having a bad day?
That person.
That person.
Yeah.
That person. Like maybe they just had an experience that they're having some turbulence.
Exactly.
So in a real estate transaction in our world, people get nasty,
Oh, yeah.
and that just means they got something going on.
Yeah. My mom used to tell us, you are what you answer to. So if you respond to negativity, that's just what you are. But if you don't feed into it, somebody calling you a name or something like that, that's just not who you are.
Yeah.
So,
No, that's really good. I've had a few experiences in leadership where people try to be nasty on the phone, and I'll put them in. I'm sorry, I don't know who you're talking to.
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I think I didn't do it. I'm trying to help you right now. So if you would like my help, I think you
Exactly.
need to change your energy.
Yeah.
And they will.
Oh, yeah.
You got to just
gotta
you got to
redirect it.
you got to hold the mirror up.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Help is here. Why are you
Yeah.
being nasty to help?
Yeah, and when you say that, some people do realize, oh, I'm just having a bad day.
Right.
I'm taking it out on somebody else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just go, hey, let's pause this energy right now.
Exactly.
We can reframe real quick. I don't need to be
Yeah.
taking this.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Your mom's got some wisdom.
Yeah, she does.
They pour it into you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
What's your, not to go too deep on that, but have you thought about your big why?
I feel like maybe it changed now that,
Change or gain more clarity?
I would say more clarity now that, I have nieces and stuff now. Like, I don't think about myself as much.
Number one uncle in the world?
Oh, yeah, number one. Number one uncle in the world. Like,
We're in competition there because I think I'm the number one uncle in the
Yeah,
world.
like, I have great parents, and they did the best they could. I wasn't set up financially, in the best way. So I do think about their future, my niece's future. Like, I don't want it to be full of struggles and having to go into debt to become something. Like, I just want that stress in life to be gone.
A generational break.
Yes. Absolutely. It has to. And it will.
Are you creating that in your family?
Oh, yeah.
That's something that I don't feel like it's talked about enough. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Because I'll be vulnerable with you because my sister and I are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's something that's not talked about enough, because when you start making more money than your parents,
Yeah.
they're still there, they're still your parents, but there's a little bit of a shift.
Yes.
Right? Because now you're getting experiences and having conversations and putting yourself and setting things up in just a little bit of a different way.
Yeah.
And it's because of the work that they did that allowed you to do that.
Exactly.
So grateful for them.
Yeah.
This is not a place of like lesser than.
Right. Exactly.
But
and I'm glad you said that. Yes.
But it's how do I navigate this?
Yeah.
Right? Because they maybe have wisdom in other areas, but you're like, I'm looking to take the family to the next level.
Yes.
And there's friction. It's like breaking out of your social class is tough.
Oh, yeah.
There's resistance.
Yes.
There's mindset. And this is where I think this is like, is your family around here?
No, my family's in Melbourne still.
And I think that it's a little easier when we're not surrounded by our family.
Yes, it is. And my mom talked about that because before I went out to school, of course, I'm her youngest child. So she was like, you can stay for a few years. But I was like, no, I can't stay for a few years. And I know if I would have been caught up in certain things I should have been caught up in, and it kind of would have hindered me. So getting away, being around different people, having these new experiences, it's part of the big reason why I'm able to do what I'm doing now. So.
Oh man, I have so many ways I want to go off this. One, you have to be so grateful for your parents, because I know if your mom's listening right now, I want her to know we're grateful for her.
Oh yes, and Mom and Dad, just know I love you. Y'all put a lot of love into me.
Yeah, you wouldn't be here without them.
Exactly.
You would not be here without them, right? And that love that they've given you has given you the grace and the ability to strive for the stars.
Yes, they gave me a lot of structure.
Right? Okay. And in the same breath, if you would have stayed home, you would become an identical image of that.
Yes.
Right? And so I think moving away creates so much power, because now you get to select your 5.
Yep.
And you should do an audit. I do an audit of who am I talking to the most and who's physically around me the most, and are those people going to help me get to my goals?
Wow.
Because if I'm the average of the 5 and my 5 is not where I'm trying to go, it's a tough conversation to have with yourself.
Yeah.
But when you're being a generational break, I feel like you have to do that.
Yeah.
And just watch the energy that you're absorbing. Back to what we said, right? Because you're becoming that average. So what else? I mean, I think this might be like a thing I want to touch on more. I think just in this day and age, with the tools that we have, we're able to be a generational break because we're exposed to more.
Yes.
You think about your family growing up. They didn't have access. They only had access to the knowledge that was given to them.
People around them, right?
This is where I think intellect and emotional intelligence, I tell people, you can have the engine, right? And you have the drive and desire, but if you don't have the tires, you don't have the tools, you don't know. You're just this energy that's just running.
You really don't know.
Right? You could just be spinning in the same spot.
And I know very hard workers in my family.
Right. This is not about hard work.
Yeah.
You can work hard, but it doesn't mean you're working in the right things.
Yeah.
That's going to give you the biggest return.
Yep.
And I my new philosophy, people always say time equals money. That means that equation also equals money equals time. And how many people don't get to do what they want because they're exchanging time for money?
Right.
Versus you get to a point where you can exchange money to buy back time.
Yes.
And experiences. And what is an experience? An experience is something that I haven't done before, a conversation I haven't had. And so if I'm running on the hamster wheel,
excuse me,
it's the same. There's nothing new. Am I really living?
Right.
I feel like living is when we get to be in this. You and I are living right now.
Yeah.
We're in a moment that we never been in before.
Never.
Right? From the conversations that we have, the things that we do. So if money equals time tickets.
Yeah.
Because then you get to do what you want with who you want for as long as you want, wherever you want.
And honestly, I never thought of it like that.
It's putting it on a paradigm.
Yeah.
And this goes into like, you run a budget for your business?
Oh, yeah.
You have a budget. Every year you set out how much money you're going to spend on marketing?
Oh, well, not every year, but probably every month.
Okay, so every month you're looking at your budget.
Yeah. Because it changed this year, of course.
To how much you would invest in certain things.
Right. So now I can invest a little more.
Okay. And you run a profit and loss sheet.
No.
Okay. So we got to have both.
Yeah.
We got to have both. And this is we don't talk about the numbers enough in our businesses, but if I'm going to exchange money, I better be getting a return on that money.
Yeah.
Right? If not, what's the point in spending it?
Right.
And if we're not tracking it, how do we know?
Gotcha.
Same with our time.
Yeah.
Right? Well, I want to exchange, if I'm exchanging time for money, I want to know the money that's being returned. What's my time worth?
Gotcha. Yeah, I like that.
Right? So then you can do a calculation of, okay, well, if I want to make X amount of dollars, am I doing tasks that are worth that?
Yeah.
If I divide it by the time,
Yeah.
how much I'm working.
Man, I wish I would have knew that when I was running those ads last year. I spent a lot of money and didn't get a lot in return.
But you have to track.
Yeah.
And so many agents are doing that. And this is something that was just poured into me. And so I can bring it to the other agents. And a lot of us are not running our business like a business, which means we're not running our life.
Yeah.
That's what it all comes down to.
Yeah.
A business is a system for us to be able to exchange money to buy back time. Why do people who have a lot of money fly private?
Because they can.
It's time.
Oh, get there faster?
It's time. If you have all the money, do you really want to stand in security?
Oh, no.
You want to go through all the airport nonsense?
Yeah.
Or would you rather already be on the beach?
Yeah, I'll be going through Blue like the rest of them.
My point is they're buying time.
Yeah.
Any super wealthy person says a jet is a time machine. So that's any experience to where, why do you pay for VIP to skip the line? Because you don't want to spend your time in line.
Yeah.
So that's where this idea of money equals time. And as you experience people who have passed in your life, and my great grandmother, she's more of a grandmother to us, just had stroke, brain bleed. I'm flying back to PA tomorrow.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, it's a cycle of life, and it's a beautiful thing. But it really puts in perspective of how am I spending my time, and is it with. I'm very fortunate because I love my team. I genuinely do. Team, love you guys. We talk about that. We do gratitude every morning, and we come in and how none of us feel any sense of like dread to come into work and work together because we all vibe, right?
Yeah.
And that's important.
Oh, yeah.
And we're really succinct, and I'm so grateful for that. But or spend enough time with loved ones. You just do this audit.
Yeah.
And Mo Anderson, who's the epitome of culture in Keller Williams for us, has said, I need you to make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people. And so therefore we got to go sell a lot of houses.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's not about, for me, right? Because it comes to a point where Avion's going to have his cup completely full, and now it's overflowing to give to others.
Absolutely. That's the goal, man.
Why else are we doing what we're doing? That goes back into the big why.
Yeah.
So I feel like I went on a little rant there, man. But
No, I appreciate that. I actually recently just got back from Delaware. And at first, like I told you, I went to Utah last month.
For your ski trip.
Right, but it was my cousin, one of my favorite cousins' 30th birthday. And she kept saying, you going to come? You going to come? And I was like, well, I just want a vacation and stuff like that. But then I'm like, well, it's not like I don't have the money. So I went. And I was talking to my dad yesterday, and he was saying, your cousin called me and told me how much that meant to her and all of that. And to me, that means everything that I could do that for her.
Because that's a memory.
So, yeah. So I like what you said,
It's a memory, man. That's
money
all we're
buys
doing.
time.
Money buys time, and that time is, are we creating memories? Right? And
Absolutely.
that's relationship. And I just, in that conversation this morning, that walk and talk, that's what we talked about, is if I'm putting a relationship over a transaction, then what is a relationship?
Right.
You and I are creating a memory right now.
Yep.
Right? And so if you're being transactional, you're not creating memories.
No.
And for me, it's thinking about how many people are coming to my funeral because I created good memories in them.
Yeah.
And it's an egotistical thing to care. And I recognize that, but me caring about that allows me to do more good.
Yeah. Exactly. Just spreading more good in the world.
Dude, we're deep in the trenches right now. No, but I'm grateful for you, man. I'm grateful for this conversation. These conversations really pull out things from our subconscious.
Yeah.
Remember when I told you at the beginning how we would just have one continuous flow?
Yeah, man. It's flowing.
It's flowing, right? With no interruption. It's beautiful. And I hope those listening are getting something out of this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're dropping gems today.
We're both, man. I'm because of you. You're creating the space. That's what we do. We create space for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Community is really important in this business
Oh, yeah.
because it gets lonely. Have you
Yes.
felt that? Because now you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I've definitely felt it in the beginning. And even when I joined my new team, I felt it in the beginning. Like, just not, you don't know anybody. You don't really have anybody to talk to. You're going through your own things. So you don't, I only can speak for myself, but too much pride to even, give that, be vulnerable with people.
Yeah.
So you're even more lonely. You're going through whatever you're going through. So I definitely had my times when I don't feel like I have nobody.
Have you overcome that? Have you been, or is it still a work in progress?
That's something I've overcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
Just getting out of my comfort zone,
Yeah.
not waiting for people to walk up to talk to me and just actually talking to people.
But was there a moment when you decided to do that? Did you have a conversation with yourself in the mirror? Was there something that happened? Because like for someone listening saying, I'm feeling uncomfortable right now. I know I need to get out of my comfort zone. Well, what did Avion do to do that?
For me, probably prayer. If you're not a prayer, then meditate. But like just praying like, okay, help me be a better person. Help me become the person I know I can be. Being more talkative, more open. Because it's important. You have to talk in this business. There's no way around it. I'm usually more like a mellow tone, not on the quiet side. But sometimes I have to come out of my shell a little bit.
Yeah, because we all have our light. We got to shine our light.
Exactly. And sometimes I'm kind of funny.
You are funny, man. That's all funny. That's why you're good on camera. You have a good sense of humor. Yeah, I can tell the heart is pure. I just started rereading. So I've been very, 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 very grateful. And because of this podcast, been asked to speak at a keynote on April 10th. And Wade at Two College Brothers is putting on this Hometown Titan retreat. And because of that, I started to reread The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, Deepak Chopra. And I started to read it out loud to practice articulating my word. I talk on this, but I just wanted to, instead of putting the stress on what am I going to write for my keynote, let me just practice talking.
Yeah.
So let me read something.
Yeah.
What can I read? I went to this book because the principles in there are so good. And you said something that made me think that, and I forgot where I was going. Fruit Loops. Prayer. Thank you. Yeah, prayer and meditation and creating space. Okay, so if your mind is turbulent, this is not where I was going, but it's fine. If your mind's turbulent, think of consciousness in your mind as an ocean. On a calm day, the calmest of days, if you drop a pebble into that, there's a ripple.
Yeah.
If it's stormy, wavy, hurricane conditions, you drop a pebble, you don't even notice.
Right.
And so in that creating space, prayer, meditation, to quiet the mind allows us to plant those small intentions that will create that ripple effect.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was really profound when I was reading that. There was a reason I was saying about reading it out loud, though. Something else, but I think I got the point across there with that.
Yeah, that thought was also floating.
It's out there. It's floating in the abyss somewhere. That happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I bring a notepad to take notes, but it's every time you bring the notepad, you never use it.
I know. Exactly.
And then when you don't have it, you're like, damn, I wish I had that. There's a little trick. Sometimes, it was funny, I just taught a class having tough conversations with one of our top agents, Stacey Allen. And as her and I, we're like bantering with each other. We're kind of doing role playing with the people. And I kept seeing her cross her fingers. And I'm like, I reckon, because I'll pinch my fingers, and that's my like little reminder. I'm holding a thought.
Yeah.
You ever do anything like that?
No, I need to start doing that.
It's cool, because when I saw her cross her fingers, I was like, oh, I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the thoughts escape us.
I don't know, man. I hate, like, sometimes, especially at night, when you have all the best thoughts, or midnight, I'm like, I need to start writing those down, because when I wake up, I'll be like...
That's when you need to break out the...
Yeah.
At night.
Yeah.
Last night, I was voice to texting into my notes.
Oh, you did?
Eyes closed, just whatever was pouring through me. And then I reread it and I go, well, that halfway makes sense, and then and can clean it up.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, no, I've just started implementing that a little more because, man, the mind moves so fast.
Yes.
And so to get it all out, but I think there's something special in that. Do you ever journal?
I used to journal a lot, actually.
Used to.
Yeah, I don't do it much now.
I think there's something. I think there is. special to slowing down and being conscious of the words that we're writing. Because in the moment, you can start to write a shitty sentence and reframe it before you even finish it. Because why let that thought come into reality?
Yes.
And then you're writing it, that's even more in reality.
Exactly.
So it's being able to slow down. Because sometimes as we're talking, we said that sentence and we shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't give us time to think about what's coming out. Because just because we have a thought, like in prayer and meditation, witnessing it doesn't mean we have to identify with it.
Right.
And we can let it
Just let it go.
let it go. That doesn't need to come out.
Yep.
Let's put that over there.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from. I feel like we're all over the place, man. Where are you want to
I
talk
know.
about?
We're jumping.
We're jumping, but that's all right.
But it happens.
I think, it's all self-growth and all, it doesn't matter if you're in sales. It doesn't matter if you're in real estate. It doesn't matter anything. These are just things that I think are good principles that we always have to come back to.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
I love that question. Helping more people at larger scale. Larger scale. I think this journey in leadership and helping people, to me, real estate is a practice of a business skill, right? It's just running a business. And I want to grow the business to be larger to help more people. It's not about the money. It's about what the money can do and the time, right, for me. So helping more people allows me to experience more things with more people that I love. And so I want to create a larger organization to do cool shit.
Yeah.
Like, I love this city, and I can see there being some development opportunities I would like to be involved in with the city.
Oh, yeah.
Some projects. I've had a lot of conversations with people, so I have a lot of different perspectives on things, and not to say that they're right or wrong, but I just can pull a council together to say, what do we want our city to be?
Yeah.
So I can see that happening. And maybe traveling a little more and doing a little more speaking. Just as things have been poured into me, I just want to pour it into other people.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things, but just keep growing the tribe and helping people reach what they want to reach.
Yeah.
I think I want everyone to be at their maximum potential. That's around me.
Yeah.
Because if they're at their maximum, they're going to continuously
Build you too.
we're together.
Exactly.
Right? We're all going to have big buildings.
Absolutely.
That's how I look at
Well,
that.
all these stay in reflection.
Yeah. Or wherever you want.
Wherever, yeah.
Right? Multiple places. I have friends in Bali right now, and I was supposed to go, but I dedicated the time to reflect on this talk that I have going, so I didn't go because it wasn't right timing.
Yeah.
But there was a lesson learned in having to say no.
Yeah.
And that I don't want to have to say no a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Especially to stuff like that.
Yeah, Bali sounds fun.
Yeah, 38 hours to get there.
Yeah.
I was only willing. The reason I didn't go is I was only willing, in the thought, to give up a week. 2 days to get there, 2 days to get back. You're there for 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not worth it.
No.
No.
At least have some time to enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you? Do you think this is do you plan on growing? You're a single agent right now on a team.
Yes.
So is that?
See, right now, I consider myself in the building phase still.
Absolutely.
So now my business is just now really picking up. So I think I want to keep just learning as much as I possibly can, and maybe my 5-year goal may change, and maybe I do want, in a few years, want to start building, getting some agents under me maybe, and just like become a mentor.
You have it.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere inside. I think I need more experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how do you get that?
Transaction.
You just keep doing it.
Transaction based,
But
yeah.
sometimes you just jump in the pool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been dragged into situations and continuously have been that push the boundary of uncomfortability. We just had this conversation with Michael this morning, my assistant, is that when you find something that makes you nervous, that's good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm nervous about this talk.
Really.
Yeah.
And you're a great talker.
Well, thank you. But there's so much more underneath this for me. And so it's thinking who this is the next level up, right? This is the who do I need to become now to not be nervous?
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
And so then when you become that person, then you got to find the next boundary.
Yeah.
I think there's like this back to a generational break when you're pushing that limits. I think breaking through that part of the bubble is where that nerves come in. And you're a little shaky, and then you get out the other side. And you're like, all right, now I'm that version.
It wasn't so bad.
Right, I'm now that version.
Yeah,
and it's finding that boundary. So we got to find stuff that makes us nervous.
Oh yeah,
that's where the growth happens.
Yeah, public speaking definitely. It's something I still got to work on too.
We all got to work on it, man. Especially when you start watching people who are like masterful at it.
Oh my God, yeah.
And you know who I've been studying? Like comedians.
They got it.
They're the best.
They got it.
The best.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is to make a stadium laugh?
Yeah. And like not have the fear of like, what if it's not funny? You know.
We have an agent here, Jared. I push him all the time because he goes and does open mic because he's building his comedy career.
I know Jared.
Yeah, and I'm like, just keep going, man. Just keep going because that art, that craft of your timing and sequencing and I should have said this a little bit different. It's that repetition and a good comedian does it so flawlessly that you're there with them and you think it's the first time they ever did it.
Yeah.
But they've done it thousands of times,
over and over again,
over and over. Every second is planned.
Yep.
And so that's a master at his craft.
Oh yeah.
So I just to get to that level, because you think when you're making someone belly laugh, they're with you.
Yeah.
You're on a journey.
Yeah.
So
yeah, repetition is everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, man, I feel like we could go on for a while.
Yeah.
And I got a lunch meeting. I'm getting hungry.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I'll hit lemongrass up next.
Yeah, you definitely should.
Thank you. It's a pleasure talking to you.
Likewise,
You're somebody
man.
I look up to from the beginning.
Dude,
so.
I love this conversation. Yeah. This means a lot to me. I appreciate you coming in and doing this, and I'm excited to continue to watch you grow and all the cool things. Mr. Highrise needs to be in the Highrise, right? Yeah. So for those that are still watching, Avion, I always ask the guests, what's one word that they could comment below? So that way we know they're still here. So if you made it this far in the video, you should comment. Love. In this episode, we talked about love, the deep connection, and understanding that we are building relationships over transactions and what that means to us. We dove into our deep why, and this one may be a little more emotional, but I think you're going to enjoy it. Like, subscribe, share with a friend. Go find Avion. All of his contact information is in the description below. We love you guys. See you in the next one.
Yep, see you.
Boom. Dude.
Man, that was awesome.
That was really good.